Have you ever felt like you're just drifting through life, but not actually becoming who you want to be? It usually hits around New Year's. You picture all the bad habits you're finally going to drop, and all the good ones you're going to build. This time will be different, you tell yourself. This time, I will follow through. And then, a few weeks later, you're right back where you started. So the real question is, how do you actually become the person you dream of being? How do you break free from bad habits and make the good ones feel natural and automatic? Atomic Habits by James Clear answers all of that. We're doing a deep visual breakdown of this book, covering habit loops, dopamine spikes, priming your environment, and a whole lot more. And make sure you stay until the end, because I'll be walking you through exactly how I've personally applied this book to my own life, and how you can do the same. I genuinely hope this gets you excited enough to pick up a copy, because this book belongs on everyone's shelf. Let's get into it. Picture a plane flying from New York to Los Angeles. Right before takeoff, you tilt it just 3 degrees, about 80 inches off course. If it keeps flying straight from there, you'd land somewhere near Tijuana, Mexico, not LA. That's what habits do to us. Tiny shifts in our daily behavior quietly steer our lives in directions we won't even recognize until years later. Both for better and for worse. You are your habits. That is the power of atomic habits. A slight change in your daily habits can guide your life to a very different destination. We tend to believe that massive success demands massive action. We expect some big dramatic breakthrough that everyone will notice. But it's the tiny improvements, the ones nobody sees at first, that create extraordinary change. Here's the math. 1% better every single day for a year compounds to almost 38 times better. 1% worse every day brings you close to zero. Your habits quietly stack against you in the form of stress and negative self-talk, or they quietly build you up through knowledge, skills, productivity, and relationships. Success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations. When you start something new, here's what we expect: linear progress, a straight line upward. Here's what actually happens. In the beginning, your progress is nearly invisible. James Clear calls this the valley of disappointment. You've put in real effort and you've got almost nothing to show for it. This is exactly where most people quit and fall back into old routines. The most powerful results of any compounding process take time to appear. Patience isn't optional, it's the whole game. Now let's talk about goals versus systems. Forget about goals. Focus on systems instead. A goal is the outcome you want. A system is the process that gets you there. We're always told to set specific, realistic goals. Get in shape, build a business, spend more time with family. But what if you ignored your goals entirely and just focused on your system? The author says you'd still succeed. Here's why goals alone fall short. Both successful and unsuccessful people often share the same goals, so the goal itself isn't what separates winners from losers. Achieving a goal only changes your life for a moment. And goals create a dangerous either-or trap. Either you hit it and you win, or you miss it and you feel like a failure, even when you were genuinely moving forward. And once you reach the goal, what happens next? You finish the marathon. Now what? Motivation fades, and you drift back to your old ways. Goals give you a direction, but systems are what make progress happen. The problem with changing your habits isn't you. The reason you keep repeating the same bad behavior isn't a lack of willpower, it's that you have the wrong system. Atomic habits are small routines that slowly stack into massive positive change. Big breakthroughs get all the headlines, but what actually moves the needle are the quiet daily decisions and actions you take. Just as atoms are the building blocks of molecules, atomic habits are the building blocks of remarkable results. There are 3 layers to changing behavior. First, outcomes: losing the weight, finishing the book, winning the season. What you get. Second, processes: your new workout routine, your daily reading practice. What you do. And third, identity: your worldview, your beliefs, how you see yourself. Most people focus only on outcomes. But the real way to change your habits is to focus on the kind of person you want to become, not just the results you're chasing. The goal isn't to learn an instrument, it's to become a musician. The goal isn't to run a marathon, it's to become a runner. When something becomes part of your identity, your behavior naturally follows. Every time you finish a workout, you are an athlete. Every time you write a line of code, you are a developer. Every time you lead your team, you are a leader. A habit is something you've repeated so many times it becomes automatic. We want our habits to solve problems in our lives with the least effort possible. Habits are built and reinforced through a continuous loop: cue, craving, response, reward. Your phone buzzes, that's the cue. You want to know who messaged, that's the craving. You pick up the phone, that's the response. You find out who it was, that's the reward. Your mind goes blank at work, cue. You want relief from the frustration, craving. You open social media, response. You feel a little less frustrated, reward. Over time, rewards become tied to cues. Checking Instagram becomes linked to boredom. Checking Instagram becomes the cue to check YouTube. And before you know it, one blank moment has cost you 20 minutes. The more you repeat these loops, the stronger and more automatic they become. Cues can be anything: a smell, a sound, a place, a person. Think about what cues in your daily life are triggering your good or bad habit loops. So how do we make the loop work in our favor? James Clear gives us 4 laws. Let's go through them. Law 1, make it obvious. Most of your current habits are so automatic you don't even notice them. Before you can change them, you have to see them. That's where the habit scorecard comes in. Write down everything you do from the moment you wake up to the moment you sleep. Categorize each one as positive, negative, or neutral, based on whether it's helping you become the person you want to be. You're not trying to change anything yet. Just observe. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. Vagueness kills habits. Studies show that people fail to stick to habits not because of low motivation, but because of a lack of clarity. One day I'll get in shape is easy to say and impossible to act on. You need a specific time and place. Use this formula: I will do this behavior at this time in this location. Bad example: I will read more this month. Good example: I will read for 15 minutes at 6 a.m. in the spare bedroom. Another powerful tool is habit stacking. After my current habit, I will do my new habit. After I brush my teeth, I will stretch for 5 minutes. Stack them together. After brushing your teeth, you meditate for 10 minutes, then plan your day, then check social media. A chain of habits is far more likely to stick when practiced consistently. Your trigger needs to be something you already do every single day without fail: waking up, turning off your alarm, making coffee. James Clear says motivation is overrated. Your environment shapes your behavior far more than your willpower ever will. It's hard to build good habits in a bad environment. Environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. Design your space to make good habit cues obvious and bad habit cues invisible. Want to drink more water? Put water bottles everywhere you'll see them. Want to read more? Leave the book out where you'll notice it. Objects don't control us, our relationship with those objects does. One person's couch is where they read every evening. Another's is where they zone out on Netflix. Try the mantra: one space, one use. And if you're trying to break a bad habit, self-control only works short-term. The more reliable move is to make the bad habit invisible. Remove it from your environment entirely. Put your phone in another room. Take junk food out of the house. Law 2, make it attractive. The more rewarding something feels, the more likely we are to repeat it. To build good habits, we have to make them more appealing. Dopamine is central to this. Our motivation rises when dopamine rises. And here's the twist: dopamine spikes not when we experience pleasure, but when we anticipate it. Gambling addicts get a dopamine hit right before placing a bet, not after winning. The thought of junk food surges dopamine before you even take a bite. Drug addicts feel the spike at the sight of drugs, not after taking them. The craving is what drives action. So making habits attractive works because it's the expectation of reward that pushes us to move. One strategy for this is temptation bundling. Pair something you need to do with something you genuinely want to do. Work out while watching your favorite show. This is based on Primal's principle: more likely behaviors reinforce less likely ones. Even if you dread the workout, you'll do it because it comes with something you enjoy. Social environment matters too. We constantly ask ourselves what others will think of us, and we adjust accordingly. If you want to build a new habit, find a community where that habit is already normal. Want to get fit? Spend time around fit people. Want to read more? Join a book club. Our cravings also run deeper than they appear. You wouldn't think to yourself, I want pizza because I need calories to survive. But that's the underlying drive. Every surface-level craving is a modern expression of a deeper, ancient motive. Things like connecting with others, reducing uncertainty, gaining status or approval. Social media platforms don't create new desires, they just tap into the ones you already have. Facebook for connection. Tinder for love. Google for certainty. Instagram for social approval. You can also reprogram your brain to enjoy hard habits by shifting the story you tell yourself. Fitness isn't exhausting, it's building a healthier body. Cleaning isn't a waste of time, it creates mental peace. Saving money isn't sacrifice, it's building freedom. These small shifts aren't magic, but they genuinely change how you feel about the habit. To break a bad habit, flip it. Focus on all the benefits of not doing it until it feels genuinely unattractive to continue. Law 3, make it easy. Habits don't form based on how much time you've spent, they form based on how many times you've repeated them. The more you repeat something, the more your brain optimizes for it. So measure habit formation by repetitions, not days. The law of least effort tells us this. The more energy a habit requires, the less likely it is to happen. Reading one page takes almost no effort. That's why it sticks. Friction is the enemy. If your gym is 20 minutes out of your way, you won't go. If it's on your commute, you probably will. Make good habits convenient and bad habits inconvenient. Reduce friction for what you want to do. Increase friction for what you don't. Prime your environment in advance so future action is easier. Lay your workout clothes out the night before. Set the pan on the stove and gather the ingredients the evening before a healthy breakfast. This removes every excuse before it can form. Use the 2-minute rule to beat procrastination. Find the simplest possible version of your desired habit and do just that. Running a marathon becomes putting on your shoes and stretching for 2 minutes. Reading an hour a day becomes reading 1 page. Get the habit anchored first, then slowly build. Once you've mastered the 2-minute version, progress from there. And to break bad habits, add friction. Make them as impractical as possible. Unplug the TV and hide the remote. Leave your credit cards in the car when shopping. Whatever raises the effort required to do the bad habit, do it. Law 4, make it satisfying. Pleasure is the brain's signal to repeat a behavior. When something feels good, the brain marks it as worth remembering. What is immediately rewarded gets repeated. What is immediately punished gets avoided. The first 3 laws help you do the habit today. The 4th law helps you keep doing it tomorrow. Here's the problem. With bad habits, the immediate feeling is good and the long-term outcome is bad. With good habits, it's reversed. The immediate result is uncomfortable, but the long-term payoff is enormous. Almost every meaningful goal requires giving up something now for something better later. So add a small immediate reward to good habits, and a small immediate cost to bad ones. Progress feels good, and you can make it visible. Move marbles from one jar to another for every sales call. Tick off each day on a calendar. Track workouts in a log. These small wins build momentum. A habit tracker is one of the most powerful tools you can use. Crossing off the day becomes a reward in itself. When life interrupts your habits, and it will, the key is to not miss twice. 1 missed day is an accident. 2 missed days is the start of a new bad habit. On a rough day, do 10 sit-ups instead of 50. Show up, even in a small way. Lost days hurt you more than successful days help you. To make bad habits unsatisfying, bring in an accountability partner. We all want to be seen as someone who keeps their word. Knowing someone is watching, and that breaking the habit has a real cost, changes everything. I owe you $10 every time I skip a workout. Concrete, immediate consequences work. You can even formalize this with a habit contract, written or verbal, that states your commitment and the punishment for breaking it, enforced by someone you respect. Alright, it's one thing to understand a book. It's another to live it. So let me show you how I've actually been applying all of this over the past few months. The good habits I wanted to build were a consistent workout routine and a daily reading practice. The bad habit I wanted to eliminate was overconsuming social media during work hours. First I did the habit scorecard. That gave me a clear picture of what I was already doing and what habits I could stack new ones onto. For working out, I used the implementation intention strategy. I will work out at 6 a.m. in the living room. Then I redesigned my environment. I pulled my dumbbells out of the closet and placed them in the living room. I put up a few pictures around the house as visual cues. For the craving phase, I bundled the workout with listening to podcasts I love. And I shifted my self-talk. I don't have to work out, I get to build strength and a healthier body. That subtle reframe made a real difference. For making it easy, my 2-minute rule was simply putting on my workout clothes and stretching. That's it. If that's all I did, fine, because I showed up. But almost every time, once I was there and moving, the motivation followed. I also made a rule, no phone until the workout was done. And the biggest game changer? Laying everything out the night before, shoes, mat, dumbbells. The moment I do that, I feel like the workout is already half done. To close the loop, I use a habit tracker and cross off the day. I also send a photo of my calorie burn to my partner. Both of those feel genuinely satisfying and keep me coming back. And throughout all of it, I keep reminding myself, I want to become the kind of person who doesn't miss workouts. Not I want to lose 10 kilos by this date. The identity, not the outcome. And I stay patient, knowing I might still be somewhere in that valley of disappointment. For reading, I use the habit stack. After making coffee, I will read for 90 minutes. The coffee became my trigger. My one space one use rule was the balcony. And since I already love that morning coffee, the dopamine from anticipating it started getting linked to reading. My 2-minute rule was reading one page of the Daily Stoic. Just one page. That's it to start. Over time, that built up to 90 minutes. For eliminating the social media habit, I made my phone as boring as possible, deleted most apps. I reminded myself constantly that consuming is passive and lazy, and that producing things is where real satisfaction comes from. That reframe helped me see it as genuinely unattractive. I put my phone in a drawer in another room during work hours. And my accountability partner, if she catches me on social media during work, I owe her $10. That's it. Simple, immediate, real. And it works. That's how I've been using this book, and the results have been genuinely meaningful. If you haven't read Atomic Habits yet, go get a copy. James Clear goes far deeper than any summary can, with stories, examples, and techniques that will take everything to another level. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.